Okay, this is the first bedroom clothes closet. An electric service panel should not be placed in clothes closets. Electric service panels should not be placed in closets without illumination. And there should be 30 inches of access in front and 6 foot 6 inches above this panel box. Excuse me, this panel box looks like it's a recent installation. I'm not seeing any green tag, permit, anything like that. This panel is not properly labeled. Okay? And the labeling that is there is handwritten, not printed. That's printed. That's handwritten. Let me turn you back on. I was trying to make some determinations earlier. So we have 100 amp service. That's the minimum by the International Residential Code. That's the minimum. Most cities, including Dallas, I believe their minimum for Dallas is 150. So this is undersized. These are 220 circuits down this bank. And we have white hots. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this panel. I get that. But we do have white hots that should have black tape wrapped around them. And then see this right here? Oh, this right here is called a trip tie. This 220 circuit and this 220 circuit do not have trip ties. Then this panel was screwed in. Screws are tight and fast, I get that. But they don't have the same shear strength that nails do. If this structure was to experience, for example, a tornado, they happen, well then this box would have a much better chance of staying in place if it was properly fastened with nails instead of screws. The gap around the service panel is not supposed to be more than 1/8 of an inch. That's for fire blocking. Then see how the cables come in through these holes? And you got an open knockout right there. You do not have a connector. You don't have a connector. The edges of the wires can rub against the edge of the cabinet. You don't have a connector up here either. And we see all these cables coming through here. That's called bundling. Bundling, not worried so much about. Connector, very much worried about. Okay. These are aluminum to copper. Is that aluminum? Is that what I'm saying? I think it's a little discolored. I can't tell what it is really. Can't tell. Okay. That's about it. Is everything. That's about it. That's everything. Living room. This is the thermostat. It's programmable. That's all that's required. It'd be nice if it was GFCI, but no, it's programmable. We have a carbon monoxide alarm here. That covers both of the bedrooms. Does it work? I don't know. Yay! We do not have smoke alarms in the bedrooms. We don't have smoke alarms outside of the bedrooms. We do have one smoke alarm here in the water heater closet. We got one right there. It's not required here. Does it work? It doesn't even work. Okay. No smoke alarms. Right here. Oh, while we're here. See this door to the water heater? It's not insulated. All right? It's not insulated. So gases, take carbon monoxide for example, can escape this door. It's closer than 10 feet to this air supply register. Come into the side of this air supply register. Go through the indoor air handler and get distributed throughout the house. Same thing for this door. This door itself should be insulated for the very same reason. Gases could come out of here, go into there, and they get distributed throughout the house. This is the air filter right here. 16 by 25 by 1. Why not? My method. Okay. It's dirty. Dirty. Beep, beep. See right here. Hang on. Man, it's kind of beat up here. We got leaks at the air filter access. We do. When this home was built, but not when this was installed, because it was installed in 2013. This is 2003. Hang on. But anyway, this is the electric power to the furnace. And these plug type disconnects are no longer in favor, no longer allowed. You should have a switch. It's good that you have it. It's good that it's grounded. We got a screen up here for our makeup air. We don't have an air supply unless you want to count all the gaps around the door. This door should be sealed. You should bring a pipe in for air, combustible air. You know, pipe like that. Then the screen should have been removed. And there should be a thimble and a sealing discussion plate around the top of that. Furnace flues are not supposed to be held together with tape. They're supposed to stay together on their own. This gas line, you got a flexible gas line, goes right into the furnace cabinet. It's supposed to be stubbed out with a pipe, and then you attach the connector onto it. And we should have a gas sediment trap to keep all the junk that's in the gas line from getting into your furnace. We do not have a care and use manual. On the evaporator coils, we should have a P-trap. We do not. This coil should be insulated. It is not. Now it comes down to a little discharge pump. And those are cool. Those are cool. But the discharge pump still has cooties that can come back up into the. So in the discharge, you know, and again, discharge cat, you know, with these older homes, retrofitting them with air conditioning and stuff. Those. I'm having trouble with my mask here. It's okay. We're gonna live. We should have a secondary drain line, which we don't. If you don't have a secondary drain line, which isn't always practical, that's why we have this discharge. If you don't have a secondary, then it should have a float switch in here, a safety switch. And so when this pipe gets clogged, the water rises inside the pan, turns on the safety switch, which turns off the air conditioner. You don't have any air conditioning, you know you have a problem, so you come in and you find out what it is. And that's the data plate for the evaporator coils. I got a still image of that. So, anyway, door should be sealed. Ventilation should be improved. Wrong kind of power supply, wrong kind of gas supply, wrong kind of exhaust, wrong kind of drain. This stuff. Also, by today's energy standards, even though this is programmable, it would be best if it was a smart thermostat. But that's not a deficiency. That's not a deficiency. If it was not programmable, that would have been a deficiency. Coming along into the backyard. This gets good. Electric service drop is too close to the ground. Too close to the ground. Some of the insulation's kind of getting loose up there at the weather had asked. This box and this disconnect should be sealed 3 sides of the cup so moisture doesn't get into it. Let me come in here for a moment. I didn't mean to yank you around. I didn't. I did, but I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Coming along. Indoor air handler, carbon monoxide alarm, first bedroom, main service disconnect. See this bar right here? This is a sub panel. This is a sub panel. It disconnects outside. Even though you have a disconnect here, this is still a sub panel. This bar should have been removed. One of these bars should have been bonded to the cabinet. All ground wires on one side, all neutral side wires on the other side. So you got neutral and ground improperly sharing. And the ground is not properly bonded. You know what? You don't have to bond the ground. All the ground should be right here. All the neutral should be right here. That bar should be removed. And you're good to go. When I said everything was wrong in that box, I meant everything was wrong in that box. cabinet, call it what you will. So as we come out here, boy, that door is not looking very good, does it? By the way, I'm going downhill. I can't wait to measure. So we come across here. So this is the main disconnect, still 100 amps. But look at what we got here. We got double lugging. We got wires bootleg off. This is not a breaker. That's a disconnect. This is not a breaker. This is a disconnect. These wires come down to here. These wires come to this. Your condensing unit does not have fused protection. Does not have a breaker on it. Look at that. Provides no overcurrent protection. This might work as a breaker, but it's double lug, not supposed to be. Might work as a breaker. It's 100 amps is way too large for that. For all practical purposes, even if you would argue that this is a circuit breaker, there is no circuit breaker protection for this because it requires a maximum of 20, not 100. Okay. Drama, drama, drama. 3 sides should be sealed. This insulation's missing. These, by today's standards, and it wasn't today when it was installed, but anti-theft valves. This insulation is no longer in favor. Why? I don't know. Maybe because it does this. Maybe because it goes away. So you should have the newer insulation on the low pressure refrigerant line. Condensing unit, is that level? Not really. Level enough, I guess. Oh, how about that? I got a serum reading. 13 serum. There should be a rain diverter up here to keep the water from falling down on the condensing unit. Back to the electric meter, because I like to yank people around, I guess. I seem to do it. I apologize for it. Coming across here, we only have one ground. Only one ground. And look at that, the rod's not buried. You think that connection is going to hold anything? Look at that, that's your ground. That's your ground right there. You got intermittent grounding. Sometimes you got grounding, sometimes you don't. That's to the whole house. This is that discharge pump I was talking about. And yes, it's legal. It's okay. I guess you'd say it's okay. There's some more of that Bondo. To take your air conditioning condensation to the exterior, but it's supposed to go into an area that is not a nuisance. And next to your house is a nuisance. That's going to attract termites to your house. It's going to make your foundation move. Right here where it's cracking, yeah, it's going to make your foundation move there because the ground's going to swell up. Mosquitoes? You bet. Quality of life, foundation, termites. Take your pick. Take your pick. I know I get dramatic. Woo-hoo. Woo. This is the temperature pressure relief drain line for the water heater. It's supposed to have a 90-degree angle on it. It's supposed to go down between 6 and 3 inches from the ground. When this blows out, it's 200 psi, pounds per square inch, steam. 200 degrees, 200 psi. Wow, just blowing across your yard. Sorry about your dog.